What is up, boys? Today we're gonna make some peas. We're gonna make some peas. I felt really bad.
What if it was like this too? Oh, yeah.
I zoom in on my face. I felt bad because Mexican dude was asking me for some money because I was wearing the Honduran jersey because I speak Spanish and I didn't give him no money. He just came from Mexico. And now I feel like a complete. So I did say no more trading, and I have not been trading. I took this whole week off. Better show you guys that real quick on Top Step. Let me log in. One combine is still alive, the other ones are gone. I'll show you the balance real quick. It's currently up. So one combine, we're up 349. XFAs were good. We did manage to be in profit for one of them, 50 bucks. But for the whole month though, up 500. Still green. Just this one we didn't really trade it. Alright guys, like I said, I realize people online do not care about whether you're making slow progress. All they care about is things that click, views, things, boom, boom, boom. That's what I've been reflecting upon. These people, they care about the PNL. They want to see those 10K months. They want to see those 10K days. They fiend for that. They don't care about those slow $100 days when you're on the XFAs. They want to see boom, 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 boom. Reflecting too, you know, the past couple weeks not trading, I haven't even really been backtesting or anything. I'm about to start studying the mentorships and the playlists that I didn't get to finish during the month of September, rolling into like mid-October. Build the correct system for 2026, going into 2026 to scale. That's first and foremost. The first month, really, the first quarter, I should say, is just scaling, building capital and trying to preserve that capital later on throughout the years and build personal capital. Don't ever forget that. Use these prop firms as a form of leverage to build your own personal account. And then eventually you start building and then you start sustaining that. But use these as a form of leverage. Get the ROI, and then that's it. I see so many people, bro, just buying so many accounts, getting a large payout, and then next thing you know, they blow it. They chase more and more and more, and then they blow it, and then they buy more accounts. They blow those accounts, and they buy more, and then eventually they pass, and then they blow those accounts. You know, like, you have to have a system, you have to have patience, and that's one thing I'm really trying to dwell in outside of the charts and on the charts. Remember that you're one thing I realized about profitability, guys, is it's a mindset thing. Going into 2026, I'm not worried about the 10K months. I'm not worried about the 100K payouts. I'm not worried. These are goals, good goals to have. But if you're always so focused on these things, you don't ever accomplish anything. The less likely you are to like focus on something, the more likely you are to get it, you know? And that's how life works. Detaching yourself from outcomes and results and just attaching yourself to the inputs and the person that you have to become to obtain those things. And that's all I'm going to be focusing on. I journal and reflect. I realized that majority of my success came from when I was in a good headspace. So that's all I'm going to be focusing on in 2026. Elevating the beliefs in terms of just thinking in terms of probabilities. That's the most crucial thing that I've been trying to focus on a lot more. So for 2026, my main dilemma is scaling. That's the most important dilemma for me right now in 2026 is going to be scaling. What have I been doing though? I've been reflecting. I've really just been meditating, and I've been going on walks. I've been reviewing my system, my trades, and I've just been brain rotting. I won't lie, I've been brain rotting. As of recently, I just started again, meditating more. I started journaling more, and I just started backtesting more. The most important, crucial thing that I really want to do is finish 2 playlists that I haven't finished watching. Take notes, review those notes, go and review my playbook, go and review my trading journal and my trading data sets that I've collected throughout the year. And the other day I was reflecting upon the trades I was taking a couple of months ago, like in July and August, and I realized, bro, I've made so much progress trading, bro, in terms of just like seeing the progression over time, you know, in terms of like seeing the way I'm journaling, my charts, this and that, my annotations, the mindset, you know, and just the analytics and the data points we were collecting back then versus now. Alright guys, so it's currently Christmas Eve. Guess what I was doing? Watching Brandon trades. But then I thought about it for this break. What have I really accomplished? Think about it. What have I done? I'm about to reflect. I'm about to meditate and journal what I need to do. What should I do for today, tomorrow, next week? So you see this week right here. I don't want to trade until next week after this week right here. So we have basically after in 2 weeks, all the way until the 5th, and yeah, the second week of January, I guess. I don't want to trade next week, and I don't want to trade this week, so Wednesday right now. Thursday and Friday are gonna be holidays. Next week, Monday's no holiday, but Tuesday no holiday, and then eventually we have Wednesday and Thursday as holidays. But again, I'm really thinking about it, like what can I do to like be better at trading? What key habits, what key things do I need to like really start doubling down on to really see the results I want to see? Again, I have to finish the mentorships. That's first and foremost. I was back testing, but I crashed out back testing. I won't lie. Like, it just mentally, main reason why I was losing is because, again, timing. I was timing the market incorrectly. I knew where my bias was going, or I was trading certain days where the market was just chopping and it wasn't worth it. But yeah, timing, unable to avoid bad conditions. And then yesterday I had a really, really strong thought when I was drinking wine. I was drinking wine last night. One of the most important thoughts that came to me was stop trying to become and just be. And it really hit me because like I'm just thinking about, oh, if I only do 10K a month, or if I pass this account, I can become, you know. And then eventually I thought about it, I was like, why don't you just be? Like, you already have the system, you already have the playbook, the trader you want to be the person that's already hitting that. Operate as if you're already them, just think like them, bro. Reverse engineer all that, and just boom, it hit me, bro. I was like, so currently watching playlists, studying, timers on, lo-fi, whatever, classical music, Notion, notes, whiteboard right here. I've not been reading, I won't lie. Haven't really reflected today. Today all I've been doing is just watching videos. Yesterday all I was doing really was, again, watching videos. And one key insight that I had really that hit me was when I was switching my strategy and I was barely like tipping my hands into like success and consistency in trading and actually following my rules, being disciplined. Because last month on the combine, and the express, really, I was just like having trouble. One thing that I realized was because I usually walk my dog twice a week. It's a weekly thing. I non-negotiable to me. Minimum once a week, twice a week maximum. And what I would usually do was listen to ICT's Shoguns, basically, or his Twitter Spaces on Spotify, basically podcast, and I would take notes. But it was mainly just for the psychology, because again, that's one thing that I always had an issue with, was with over trading, being undisciplined, not following my rules, this and that. But once I started listening to that, incorporating it, going for walks, really soaking in the information, you know, that he used to talk about like family, this and that, and I was like, bro, I could relate to this so much. And I was like always, you know, like gravitating towards that. And then I started reading the books, and then I stopped listening to podcasts, and I just went back to listening to music because I thought I figured it all out. I thought I figured it out, that I had my strategy. I'm untouchable, you know, like I'm untouchable. I'm the man now. I'm the man. Every single trade, every single thing, I'm gonna always win, blah, blah, blah. But then boom, the undisciplined, there's this and that. The strategy is good, 80% win rate. The other 20% is me calling the market wrong. I had moments where I called the market wrong, or just being undisciplined, being stupid, being naive, not being able to walk away, not being content with a break even when the market is not giving me what I want to see, you know? All right, so back to the video. 2025 was a great year. That was the year whenever first 6 months, again, wasn't really trading, wasn't really doing all this and that, the important stuff. But now, since the last 6 months here really did count, since August, I would say August, really the last 4 months, I was really locked in. That's truly honest. The 8 months wasted. 4 months though. I had 2 months, August, September, where I was unprofitable. I was unprofitable. I was unable to win. I was using the CRT strategy, but with time frame alignment, and I still couldn't figure it out, bro. I still couldn't figure it out. I was journaling, I was doing this and that, but I was like, bro, I was backtesting. I backtested so much, bro. I remember I locked in on trading August, or yeah, late July. I started locking in, backtesting, boom, 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 creating my strategy, fixing it, retuning it from what I already had from the previous year. I was still unprofitable, bro. And I was entering trades too early. I wasn't following the system. I wasn't doing this and that. And then eventually September rolls around. I was like, all right, I need to improve my strategy. I need to tweak it. I need to find some ways to make it better. And then that's kind of where I started to rewatch more videos, more playlists started, because I felt rusty too. All I did was backtest, EA, this and that. And I was like, all right, it's not bad. It wasn't the best though. Back to 2025, like I still didn't have it figured out. You know, like late September, early October, I was still watching videos. I was still backtesting. I was still doing all these very, very important things. And then boom, we made one tweak into our strategy. One video changed my whole entire life, you know? And then I realized, you know, like, you know, I thought like, oh, the holy grail's there. I need more. Then I started chasing, watching more. And I thought every time I would click on this video, or I would watch this type of video, or I finish this playlist, my whole life would change. And it's on an unhealthy habit, I won't lie. Have a foundation, have a good strategy, build around it though. That's one thing I always try to talk about. That's why my G7 strategy is always going to be there. It's always going to be the foundation. PA is always going to be the foundation, bro, no matter what. The higher time frame narrative, the context behind the market is always the most important things. The foundation is the base for a high quality setup to form. I need that 4-hour soup, and then the market shooting up. That's an advanced EBP. And then I learned from all these people. I learned from Romeo, I learned from Omar, I learned from ICT, I learned from all these people. But then once you backtest and you actually start, like journaling it, collecting your own data sets, and like combining all these different things, bro, that's your knowledge and your experience from then on forward, because these people are not going to talk about that online. Now that I'm finding some success, it's all psychological, and that's what I want to go talk about. These podcasts, I want to be studying, podcasts. I don't want to be listening to too much music. It's overstimulating, like you're all hyped up, reading books, audiobooks, having those deep conversations, bro, like with other traders. Maybe one day, start getting there, or maybe joining alpha groups, mentors, whatever, like reinvesting back into it more and more and more. That's my main habits for 2026, going into 2026, getting quality sleep. I would be only getting like 6 hours of sleep, bro. I would be reading the previous night, trying to finish this chapter, trying to do this and that. Finish this video is like an hour long, bro. Before I went to bed, it was already like 12. That's number one, getting quality sleep in 2026. Number two, by far, eating healthy. Doing things that are low frequency, that are like eating you up mentally or physically deep down inside, like you should be exercising, like those are other good habits, but eating healthy. Number three, of course, exercising, going to the gym. But eating though, also drinking a lot of water, like vitamin D, magnesium, all those very, very important, crucial supplements. And just trying to elevate, bro. Exercising, going for walks, getting that sunlight, getting that vitamin D, going to the gym, going to the sauna, going for those runs. These three things, going to sleep, getting good quality sleep, eating and drinking a lot of water and staying healthy and exercising, by far, game changing. Because how many people are actually doing that? How many people on a consistent basis are eating, meal prepping, drinking water? How many of them are getting consistent good sleep? Of course, number four has to be meditation, journaling, and / visualization. I think that's crucial in 2026. Meditation. Like, since we're talking about podcasts, this and that, let me show you guys which ones I'm actually going to be listening to, because again, if I'm over here talking about this and that and I'm not showing you, what's the point? Here are all the podcasts I'm going to be listening to. Jim Ron, I'm going to be listening to Mr. Jim Ron, When Shift Happens, Titans of Tomorrow, Words of Wisdom, Inner Circle, Jack Neal, Huberman Lab, Joe Rogan. But I want to, not really kind of Joe Rogan, but I'll dabble into there, but I want to have just, even if it's not about trading, like Andrew Huberman, even if it's about health, all those very, very crucial things I want to incorporate. I want to continue to elevate, this and that, so.